In this next segment, we're going to focus on the challenges of what seem to be sometimes competing interests in correctional industries. On the one hand, you have the interests of all these offenders that need to have these skills. They've got their needs for transitioning to the community. On the other hand, you have your business concerns, your customers, your clients out in the business community, and you've got to be able to meet those demands. And my sense is that balancing those interests sometimes involves focusing on what your objective is in correctional industries. So let's start with there. What are the objectives of correctional industries?
Well, there's many objectives, obviously, but I think one of the main objectives is public safety. We instill a work ethic, hopefully through our work programs, so that the guy or woman offender learns to do what most citizens do, and that's get up in the morning, go to work. Now, in order to participate in the program, it is voluntary in a prison setting. They have to maintain a good work record. They have to maintain a good behavior record. They have to be classified to a program so that they can participate. They have to want to participate, in other words. And that desire to participate hopefully will relate to and translate to his interest in maintaining a good employment record when he gets out of prison. We attempt to instill a work ethic primarily in our program, and as I said, it is voluntary, but it helps to normalize the prison setting. Guys that are working in a productive type of environment during the day are not in a housing unit causing trouble. So as Warden Mills says, the benefits are huge to a prison setting. It does normalize the prison environment.
What Pat said earlier is probably so true for you as well, that you're so busy doing the business of correctional industries that oftentimes you don't have a lot of time to talk about what you do to the broader community. When you're out there promoting correctional industries to your constituents, to the broader community, to potential partners or policymakers, how do you characterize the product that correctional industries creates?
We actually have more than one product. I mean, our list of SKUs is huge in the number of products that we produce, but we have two main products. One is a finished good made from raw materials and then sold to agencies or facilities that can purchase from correctional industry program from a legal aspect. The other more important product, I think, is the human being that we hopefully have changed from criminal behavior to one of, as Pat said, a tax burden to a taxpayer, and I think that's critical in the program. He operates on a voluntary basis, so he has to want to do. There's nothing that we can do in corrections from a medical or chemical standpoint that we can change that behavior. So he has to really want to do it, and participation in the program obviously is voluntary, and the product is a changed life.
It seems to me that one of the challenges in correctional industries is not so much with the product that involves the offender and giving him work skills, but sometimes it's the products that you produce, the physical products that you're producing as part of a business model. It seems to be another area of conflict which may present a conflict is this idea of manufacturing a product in a prison setting. Is there a seeming conflict or challenge there?
Yes, there is. It's a huge challenge. We're obviously concerned with public safety in a prison setting, and that's the safety of the staff, the inmate, as well as the community surrounding that prison. There are many factors that impact the manufacturing of a product inside a prison setting. It is a challenge to meet the deadline, the goal of the deadline that the product needs to be delivered. Obviously, people want to know when they're going to get their stuff. And any prison day of, say, 8 hours in a shift, they're lucky to get 5.5 or 6 hours actual work out of that, because of the restrictions that are imposed upon a prison setting.
Give us an example.
Yeah, well, we have counts. Those are required in order to accommodate and to account for all the guys that are supposed to be inside the prison.
The offenders go back to their cells. They might be at a workstation.
That's
They're
correct.
back to their cells.
Yes,
all right.
That takes up time. They also have to be fed in a prison setting, you don't take a 30-minute lunch break. It could be an hour and a half to go back to their.
And the caterer doesn't come into the prison industry.
Well, it depends upon the setting. Actually, sometimes meals are brought to the inmate in that workshop. But then you have tool control as well. You have to obviously have tools to manufacture the variety of products that are made in prison.
And tools can become weapons.
Tools can become weapons. Also, they could be manufacturing some unauthorized products. That's always a problem.
And what might those be?
Well, they could be instruments that would harm other folks.
Okay.
For instance, knives they call shanks in prison, but that's a potential risk. Correctional industries is in the risk business, as corrections is in the risk business. We need to protect society, and we do this by hopefully changing those lives, but also manufacturing a product, and that should instill a work ethic.
Do we want to get into this whole notion of we want to talk about this later or now, but the conflict of producing products that are also produced out in the community and private industry? Do we want to talk about that later?
Well, we can talk about it now. I think,
let's just set it up now because we're going to bring up the discussion a little bit later.
The problem exists, I think, with private industry thinking that we're competing for the same marketplace, when in reality, correctional industries does not compete to that degree. It's a very small market share, and therefore, what we do is more than the product of that we sell. We're making a product that hopefully will benefit the private industry in that potential worker when he does graduate, as you can say, from a prison setting.